Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner, and I got some knives here for a video. Got three knives. You may, just by looking at them, kind of figure out what they have in common. Got these all at different times. Well, we'll start with the one that I've had for the longest. You've probably seen this one before, and it's this guy. Big, huge box. You didn't recognize it from the other side. You see Demco knives. Now, it's a big, huge box, but the knife is really not that gigantic. But I got out the old box and just to see how got it upside down. To see how these things come. They got a great presentation. I mean, Demco does quality stuff. It's not too surprising. This guy here is the patch that you can take off if you want. Put it back on, but you can see what's on there. Get that pouch out. You can see what that patch says. Shark lock. Now that's basically what's going on with this video. We got multiple locks that are similar, and this one kind of, as far as I know, at least as far as general popularity, this is where it all kind of started. You know that there's like a lot of different locks that you can get on knives, and Demco has definitely made some of the premier types of locks over the years with cold steel, and I guess he's been doing custom work for a while. Obviously, much more expensive than this one. This is one of the ones that, after he kind of broke with cold steel, he made this particular design. This is one that, like I said, it's not. See how big the pouch is and how big the knife is, so it's kind of deceptive. But maybe he made these pouches so it would fit those full size 80/20s. This is the 20.5, and I didn't get this one right when they first came out because they were very, very popular and selling out so quick. I got this on like maybe the second drop that happened, and I didn't even get it the first time I tried. When I went to go buy it, probably one of the bigger knife companies, resellers, and I went to go do it, and the website crashed a couple times, and by the time I got in to try to order it, they were all gone. But then later on during the day, I got some notification that there was some more available at a different knife company, knife seller, and picked this one up. I was very excited. So this is the 80/20.5, the smaller version of the 80/20. If you want to see a full size 80/20, Nick Edwards over at Behind the Edge, he's got one that he's been showing lately, and he's got a full video on the one that he got at the Nashville custom knife show. Very cool. But this one's the more affordable version that's made in China, or Taiwan. Sorry, Taiwan. And a lot of the stuff that came out of cold steel was made in Taiwan, so there is some debate over whether or not it's the same company making the knives, doing the OEM work. I do not know. When this first came out, it had the Grivery type handles, and not a big fan of those. But the big thing that really drew me to this, and then there was a lot of drama about the steel as well. You can see that this is not one of the newer ones where they came out with more premium. If I can get it to try to focus. It says, let me see, I think it's Oz 10A. Oz 10A, if you can see it there. Maybe you can't. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. When they first came out, and a lot of people said they was soft. I think I might have gotten a little bit later version of it, because this one seems to be holding an edge pretty good for me. But as you can see me open and close the knife, and I'm sure most of you are well aware, the shark lock was the latest and greatest thing on this knife. There's been a few locks over the years where you didn't have to go across like you do for a frame lock or liner lock. You have to go across the blade, and as you're closing it, you kind of have your thumb in the way possibly. There's been a few. The Axis lock is one of the big ones that came out a long time ago, bench made. And then later on, everybody made their own version of it. Button locks, also, same kind of thing, where you don't have to get your finger in the way of the knife. Compression lock for Spyderco. So those are all cool, but they're all coming in from the side. This is the first one that, at least that I am aware of. I think maybe I did see a video of an older version. You know, Billy and Courtney over at Apex Alchemy, they're always coming up with some history type thing. And I think that he showed a knife that was like an earlier version of something similar to this. But I couldn't tell you what it is. But anyway, popularity-wise, this is the first one off the back of the knife like this. And it really works quite well. Very fidgety. Obviously, you got multiple ways to open it, close it. You can just use the lock, just like you can do with the Axis lock or button lock. Same kind of concept. But supposedly, this thing was really tested, as Demco is known to do, for being a very strong, held open lock. When it gets engaged, it really holds. And so it seems like this is a superior design knife of those kind of locks. Because I've you know, you got these button locks, and you're hearing a lot of people doing the spine whack test, and they're breaking open. Axis locks probably not as much, but this one is one of those ones where they're putting that weight on the end of the knife, and they're checking to see that it can hold quite a bit of weight. So Axis lock, that's I'm sorry, not Axis lock, the shark lock. That was maybe 2 years ago. I think I first saw it back at one of the blade shows, probably 2 years ago. I could be wrong, but I think that's about right. This one came out this year, and it's been pretty exciting. It started as a Wii design, and maybe there was a custom involved prior to all that was concerned. I don't know that much about it, but then they came out with the one that Civivi, that's under the Civivi brand, making it much more attainable to some of the people. And that's your normal Civivi type of case. And they always have their stuff in there, little stickers and things. So they usually have a cloth in there, but this one I've dug out because I've had this knife for a while. Actually, I got this one at Blade Show West just this year. And this is the Vision. So they had the Vision. Was it the Wii version of the Vision, and this is the Civivi version of the Vision. And I think it's a really good knife, and it's got a similar way where you pull back on that lock to drop the blade. This is very similar. I believe the Wii version of this, you could pull this back and actually pull it up and out. I think I saw videos on that, but in the Civivi version, it's in place. So similar concept. Haven't really taken it apart to take a look at what's inside, but it acts very similar to the Shark Lock. So obviously, if you want to say it's inspired by, very popular knife right now. Some people I've seen saying budget knife of the year, or knife of the year, or something along those lines. It's got a great blade shape. I really like it. It's kind of got that chef knife kind of shape to it because of the fact that you get your knuckles up when your cutting edge is down, if you can see that from your angle. So some of the food prep sort of knives, like Spyderco has their chef knife. This one's kind of similar to that. It's got this clip point. I've heard it called a K-tip. but I've seen mostly that as a chef knife design, like a Japanese style of chef knife where they have that clip coming down like that. But yeah, it's a great shape. It's the Sneck design. Hopefully you can see that focus in. Designed by Sneck. And I think, as far as I know, that includes the lock as well. So anyway, very cool design. Similar. Part of the reason I wanted to get this one as a collector, I wanted to get this because I wanted to see how it compared to the Shark Lock. And it compares very well. I mean, it's very similar kind of action. This one only has the thumb studs for opening and closing. So, but it's got a nice choil on it. I mean, really long distance between the sharpened edge and the plunge grind. So you definitely have lots of, you're never gonna get around, unless it's like one of those old buck knives that you see out and about that have been around so long and somebody sharpened them so many times that it looks like a little splinter now. You could go quite a ways before you ever have to worry about that. So Civivi Vision, and here's another one. And now it's not quite as close, but there you go. You get that connection between Demco knives and Cold Steel. Obviously, this is not a Demco design. Well, maybe it's not obvious, but I'm pretty sure that Demco is no longer doing any designs with Cold Steel. So somebody else at Cold Steel is doing this design, and I don't know enough about it to really give you information about it, but it is the Engage. This has been out for a while, and I was looking to get one and just hadn't really found a 3.5 inch one that I really wanted until recently. On Amazon they had it at a good price. It was like $140 or something like that. Really good price. I think on the Cold Steel website it's still up there, a little more expensive than that. So if you want to get that better price, maybe take a look at Amazon. I don't know if it was because I just got this. It may have been a Black Friday sale or something like that, so I can't guarantee. Clearly I've been using this thing, and I've used it and cleaned it up, and it really does clean up well. Some knives you can scratch up pretty easily, but you see, just quick wipe on it, cleans it up really nice. The Engage, and it's got this lock called the Atlas lock, and the Atlas lock is similar action, but big difference here is how far back on the handle this lock is. It also doesn't stick up like both of these guys do. This one sticks up probably the most and is a little bit sharp on the finger. Took a little while to get used to it, and it's kind of probably smoothing out as I've had it for a while. But it's been pretty sharp. This one's a little less sharp on the finger, and even though it's not as old, it's still less sharp. But this one here, the Engage, it's flush here with the little cutout. You can see the cutout, and so you get your finger down in here and pull it back. But then it has that similar action. Open and close, thumb studs. Actually, it's really well. This one, I was surprised at how much I enjoy this lock. Now, I've heard people complain about the Shark Lock in that when you're holding it, you got it open and you're cutting with it, that you may like to put your thumb here and you tend to get hit by that lock, and maybe some concern that you're going to pull back on the lock, although I've never had an issue with that, and it actually does feel comfortable for me. But other people have complained about that sticking into their thumb. So, and you probably can feel this a little bit, maybe not quite as much, but similar. With the Engage, the lock is so far back that when you put your thumb on the back of that blade, even if you come up here, you're not going to feel that lock in your way. Now, one thing about that, though, is that the other one is right here where your finger is going to be when you're holding the knife. So as I go transition from a grip holding to do cuts to the position where I would be opening and closing the knife here, it's a pretty more natural location for where your finger would land as you adjust straight into it. What I found with the Engage is that as I go from this cutting, but which is this grip, I mean, if you had a much bigger hand than mine, I think I'd have like a large hand. If you had a much bigger hand than mine, you might have a little trouble fitting your hand in here. But for me, this fits great, and it has a great feel in hand. Anyway, as I go here, my fingers here, I have to kind of push the handle a little bit forward in order to be able to comfortably open and close the lock. So there's a little bit more of an adjustment as you flip it over and go to unlock the knife and swing it closed. So that is one thing that I have noticed. It doesn't really bother me. This is the most comfortable on your finger, definitely. And this lock seems to work really well. I don't know what kind of testing, but if you know Cold Steel, they're probably doing some serious testing on their lock as well. You could probably go to some of their videos, Jimmy Slash or the Cold Steel videos, and get a little bit more information on that. But man, it feels really good. If you ever had a 8010, which is an Andrew Demco design from Cold Steel, this one has that kind of feel as it opens and closes. Just the sound is a little different kind of thing than what you hear here. Here. You know what I'm saying. It's a little bit more of a clickety-clack as opposed to a clunk, clunk. And it's very satisfying. And when this thing is engaged, yes, I did mean to use the name of the knife, it feels super strong, just like the 8010 does. I mean, it's just locked up. It's really good. This one is the S35VN version, so it's a little more premium. I think they have a OS 10 or OS 8 version with like maybe the 3-inch long one. But this is definitely the size that I want. I mean, 3-inch knives are just a little bit small for me. 3.5 is where I start to get happy with the knife size. So there you go. 3 locks, similar designs, but all have little different features. Which one's best? I'll let you guys decide. But that's what I got for you today. Just wanted to kind of show a little comparison there. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next one.